Hello, everyone. This is Phoenix Tremaine, and today we're going to be talking about the commentary for General Hospital. I promised you I was going to do this video, and here it comes. We have a lot to talk about. Like I said in the video, spoiler video, we have a lot to talk about. And look out for a third video I'm releasing this week because the first one was spoilers. The second one is this one, the commentary. And the third one is about Nancy Braun and her tweet threatening her other cast members. So that must be talked about. So yeah, be on the lookout for that video because that's the one I'm record after this one. But if you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. It's free to do. It helps out the channel a lot. So I want to say thank you in advance. And also we have a membership. We get early access to videos, exclusive videos. We have our lives, and on our live, which was 2 days ago, Friday, we already talked about this. We talked about the commentary because we talked about all the commentary. And we also talked about Nancy's tweet. So, be the first to get this information and see this information and be able to discuss it with me live, and we can get your opinions on the live video, which can share with the rest of the membership. And without further ado, give that membership a try. We love to have you. And we're going to start the commentary for General Hospital. And I don't want it to be too long, but buckle up. So we got the show kicked off with Brennan telling Carly she's stupid. She's like, you're an idiot. She's like, well, I'm going to come see you. And he's like, why? That's what the audience, that's what we've been asking for 2 weeks. Like, why is Carly constantly trying to see Brennan, how is she helping Jason by seeing Brennan? Do you think that because he's attracted to her, he's going to say, yeah, I'm the leader of Pikeman and blah, 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 blah. He's like, no, you stupid. You know what? I'm saying it for him. The actor couldn't say it, but he's like, you gave me information. I didn't give you any information and you want to come back? Oh, it was, why are they making Carly look so stupid? Also, I want to update my statements on Tracy because she had the scene with Chase where, he was trying to show some sympathy towards, she lost Gregory too. And she's like, no, 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 no. We're not going to do that. And I said, oh, maybe some of the members and the SoFam that, was in the commentary, they said, well, maybe, Tracy's not going to feel it right away because she's, we'll see it later. And so the way she was reacting, not wanting to get Chase to allow her to be emotional in any way, I feel like this week coming when they, spread the ashes or whatever, I'm thinking, hoping, fingers crossed, that that's when we'll get Tracy to show some emotion. Because if you saw my videos last week, I was like, I'm so disappointed. I look forward to Tracy's reaction the most, and I just was let down so bad. But hopefully, it's just a delayed reaction. And this is something that really doesn't make sense to me. Why is Spinelli and Jason not in scenes together? They have a whole talk show outside of the show together. And I'm like, why isn't Jason Spinelli talking or anything? So if Jason can talk to Carly, why wouldn't he talk to his best friend? Especially someone who could help him, So once again, the new writers doing things that don't make sense, relationships that don't make sense. And you got the Jason fams getting more and more hope because now Sam is determined to save Jason. And, we'll see how that goes. They haven't really been showing her that much with Dante. To me, in a relationship loving capacity, her focus has changed to Jason. But it was Maxie who almost surprised me because Spinelli said he told Sam he didn't know if he wanted to hack the FBI because he can go to jail and that's federal time. And Maxie was like, "Well, you can do it if you don't get caught." So just hearing Spinelli, who I feel like Spinelli is almost like Laura, where they're not writing him correctly. the relationships with characters that he's normally with. It's not making sense. And we're going to talk about Spinelli in a later episode, how, he basically gave Maxie an ultimatum. But we'll get to that. I'm getting there. I'm getting there because now I want to go to Alexis, which she has been getting a lot of shine. I told y'all when the male writer, I can't remember his name right now, but I know a million people in the comment section. But when he came back, he created Alexis or Nancy's character on Santa Barbara. She said they stayed, good friends. And so we can see in the writing reflected that Alexis is front and center. She's a main character again, and she's interacting with everybody. She got her own thing going on, and Alexis has been revived. Now he's left the show, so come June episodes, we'll see June and July sweeps if Alexis will still stay front burner or will she slide back to that back burner she's been on for years, ever since Julian passed away. Alexis hasn't had much to do. So, but we're moving on because, well, when you talk about this scene, I don't care. I was super excited that Lane Davies was going to be on the show, that maybe he and Nancy's chemistry from Santa Barbara would carry over to this show. And there's nothing there. I don't even care about the character. I don't think he's sticking around. So who cares? We know she's gonna get a law license back, or else none of this matters. So this scene don't matter to me. But what does matter to me is that it is clear that Finn is Alexa's new love interest. Finn and Alexis, that's his new love interest. Him and Elizabeth look like, well, he looks like he still has feelings for Elizabeth. Elizabeth looked like she'll want them to do with him, and I'll be getting into that. But if you didn't think that the show was moving in the direction of Finn and Alexis, look at this. Look at this. Now, when Liz found out that Gregory passed away and she went to check on Finn and Violet, she saw the alcohol and she ain't been right since. So she has just been giving him ultimatums and demanding this and that from him and showing him absolutely no compassion because he took a drink. That he tried to take his daughter. You had a drink, so I'm taking your daughter. No, you're not married. No, you can't. You don't have any authority over Violet. So he threw her out, but he didn't technically throw her out. He gave her a choice. She could stay, which, because he wasn't violent, he wasn't belligerent, he wasn't throwing things around like Sonny, he was just upset that his father passed away. He broke his sobriety, and Liz was like, I don't care. I don't care that your father's gone. All I care about is that you're not at a meeting right now. And you look at the comparative contrast to Finn and Alexis, and he's like, I'm not going to drink again. And she's like, sure you will. And I'll still be here for you when you do, and I'll help you through it. And that's why they're holding hands and looking each other's eyes and smiling. And that's how Liz should have been. Liz should have been compassionate because first of all, he had a drink. You don't know how many drinks he had. And so you may not be talking to him with a clear mind, which means you may have good intentions of wanting him to go to a meeting, but that is not the time to try to force him into a meeting. You could bring it up if you really want to, but if he's resistant to it, ask him again when he's sober. You don't say, I'm gonna take your daughter from you. So Finn and Liz, they've never had chemistry, and I definitely feel like they're breaking them up. But this scene, more than if you didn't think so, this scene told you all you needed to know. Chase was executor of the will, which I think was a mindful on Gregory's part, that Gregory knew that Chase might be a little more stable than Finn. So, I think it was a good call. Then we had this scene, and once again, I know we had new writers or have new writers, and I just keep having these moments where characters do things that don't make any sense, and it bothers me a lot because I'm like, why is Ava in Nina's office upset that she didn't put an article for one of her artists in the paper, and I'm in her magazine, and it's like you literally told her, I'm stealing your husband from you, and I'm a better woman for him than you are. But go ahead and do me this favor, put this article in your magazine. It makes no sense. And what else didn't make sense? Maxie, she's looking at Nina. This look is like, Nina, are are you just gonna tell everybody you're screwing Drew? She's like, what are you doing? Why do you give her all that information? You're not even friends. So for me, Maxie was the audience, like, Nina, really? Now, the way Nina looks like she started to be a little whipped, I feel like we need more love scenes because they only done it twice. And Nina's already like chewing on her pencil at her desk. So yeah, let's move that along. We're gonna go to the next thing, which is once again, we had another look at Liz's face. It's the next day. He doesn't have bottle booze hitting in his desk. She's like, oh, and the way you talk to me, and I was like, good gravy. This is not a person in love. She's a head nurse. She knows how to talk to people that are grieving. She's been a nurse for like 20 years. She knows, but she doesn't have that compassion for the man she supposedly loves. Okay, moving on and I probably should have had this slide before that one, because we got Nina over there getting all gushy for Drew. And meanwhile, Drew go running to Willow with the good news that the congressman wants him to take a seat. And Willow's looking like, hey, I'm about to be a congressman's wife. You just gotta ditch one millionaire for another. So we've been getting a lot of scenes where Drew and Willow are together the entire episode, talking, whether they're at the Metro Court bar, talking. I think somebody said they held hands. I think I fast forwarded, so I didn't see it. But in a comment, somebody said they were holding hands at the bar. And it's clear that they're creating a triangle between Willow, Drew, and Nina. It probably won't play out to July, but they're setting the groundwork. You've got Willow coming to him. Oh, my kid needs swimming lessons. You have any tips? Like he's really been a father in his daughter's life. So, I mean, this guy barely even knows Drew, and she comes to him for kid advice. So, and then you got Drew always wanting to share the good stuff with Willow. And I'm here for it. I really want that triangle. And then they threw Sasha back in the house, in the mansion. And Michael did mention that, oh, we used to date. You sure you wanted this job? So I think they may go there with Sasha, Michael, Cody triangle and a Drew, Willow, Nina triangle. So we'll see how that plays out. But we cannot leave the Tuesday episodes. I mean, this is Wednesday episodes without talking about the scene that was the highlight of the entire week. Alexis confronting Ava. This was the only scene throughout the whole week that just made me just giddy and happy and glad I'm so fan, because Maura West gave us a masterclass in acting like she always does, especially when she's telling somebody about themselves. So Alexis is like, hey, you filed a complaint, about me, and how dare you? And it was like, well, did I lie? Was there anything? Did you see it? Was there anything in there false? You did do perjury, right? And Alexis like, Yeah. She's like, well, what are you here for? I didn't lie, you know? So it was so fun watching Ava not be rattled one iota by Alexis. Now, I know with one of the head writers who's gone now, being a big Alexis fan, I know, or Nancy fan, I know that they probably had something really cool planned of Alexis getting her revenge on Ava. They only filmed 30 days in advance, a month in advance. So I don't know if the plan will stay the same or how it'll play out. But I do love that, or maybe even Alexis will figure out that Ava knew about Sunny's meds being tampered with, and she'll be the one to let everybody know. That'd be her last article in Innovator. Ava exposed. So maybe that'll be a revenge. That's just me as a writer guessing things that I may that I would have done if I was a writer on the show. But anyway, we're gonna move on to Sunny. Sunny is almost unwatchable at this point. It's not because Maurice is a bad actor, because Maurice is a great actor. And it's the storyline dragging. And it's like they've reached several milestones that should have led to Sonny finding out that his meds were tampered with or Valentine or whatever. Because the first thing was Laura and Cyrus, telling Cyrus, look, make your complaint. We're not going to file it yet, but we're just going to, put this in the corner. And Cyrus was like, okay. And we ain't seen Cyrus in so long. We need to see Cyrus. But anyway, I think Cyrus will be seen more once Heather gets out of jail, because supposedly the rumor is that's his love interest. But anyway, Sonny and Jocelyn, she lets him know that Dex isn't going to press charges. And that's the other thing. They made a big deal about the wedding and then Sonny attacking Dex. And then they spend the next week of everybody who was upset, Christina, Joss, Dex, you know, everybody was like, okay, well, you're not filing charges, are you? Because that's Sonny. Even Anna was like, don't do it. It's not worth it. And maybe if they didn't show his face so messed up, that you could go, okay, he's got a black eye. It's not that big of a deal. Sonny got a couple of punches in. That I can understand. But when it looks like they've sewn your eyes shut and you haven't had soap magic, magic healing, where, usually people will have, wounds or bruises or whatever like that. And on a soap, you usually have them for like no more than a week before they start showing you. Maybe take some of the makeup down and look like you're healing or something like that. But no, Dex looks like fresh. Yeah, everything is fresh. So I'm tired of it because they have Sonny doing all these things with no consequences. And he tells Dex, just leave me alone. I'm done with you. You're safe as long as you don't cross me. And then we have, and this is another thing where I say Willow is going to definitely be uh, a love interest for Drew, or is a love interest for Drew, because whereas Willow spent an entire episode praising Drew and telling him how much of a great man he is and he needs to run for Congress and blah, 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 Michael and me was like, no, don't do it. You got a record, who's going to be watching over Curtis, which was, where did that come from? He just started coming up with excuses. But Willow was like, but, and. And finally, Michael, being a little wussy, he was like, well, okay, I guess you can run. So it just shows that, there was a point where Michael, kissed Drew's feet. He was like another father figure. He was somebody, upper echelon. And, for him to just immediately dislike the idea of him becoming a congressman shows you that the conflicts between them is just beginning. This scene between Dante and Dex did not make any sense. I'll repeat that. This scene did not make any sense because I love how Dante kept staring at Dex. Like the look on his face was, my dad did that to you and you didn't press charges? Really? that, he just loved the makeup job that they did on him. And I had a weird thought, like, could possibly somehow, some way, Dex be Dante's son? They're literally dressed exactly alike. Their wardrobe is exactly alike. Same jeans, same shirt, same look. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have a clear picture. Maybe Dex was adopted. Who knows? For a long time, they were trying to say that Dex was Brenda and Dante's son. You know, we don't know. We don't know. But look at this picture. They're twinsies. Let that sink in. Because the show also went back to snitches. So why? Because on Monday's episode, Christina is clearly heated because Blaze told Molly about what happened at the wedding. Because just like Liz snitched the previous week, then they're like, okay, let's get Blaze snitched this week. Blaze should have said, "Ask your sister," and walked away. Period. That's it. Ask your sister. Ask Sonny. Ask Jason. I'm good. I'm done. I'm not gonna. If Christina didn't tell you, then it's not my place to tell you. That's how that conversation should have ended. But of course, she resisted a little bit and then went snitching, snitching, snitching. Then we had another scene because we can't go a week of General Hospital without them throwing kids in the scene because we ain't never seen this many kids on the show like forever. So Georgie wants her dad to move in along with Maxie's son. And, they let them have like a little conversation. This is why I said, and I made everybody on the live laugh because I said Spinelli refused to move in if he wasn't getting any kitty. This is YouTube. I can't say the words, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So he was like, if we're not dating, then why am I moving in? In other words, you really want me to be just playing house with you? We're grown people. And that is usually not how Spinelli is written. Spinelli is usually a sort of like putty in Maxie's hands. And Maxie says, go jump off that bridge. He's yes, Maximista. And he jumps off the bridge and hopes he survives. But for her to actually ask him to move in, he's like, so we're not sleeping together? They already have kids. It's not like they never done it before. But she gave him a little hope, and then he was like, yes, I'll move in, you know. But they had Snitching Part 2. Snitching Part 2 was Molly didn't already got, from Blaze what happened. So why are they getting Carly to snitch? So usually Carly, she don't like Molly. They don't have scenes together. They even kind of said it in the scene that they don't have scenes together. So why would Carly tell her anything? She should have said, ask your sister, and moved on. Then we have the setup of Sonny trying to buy out Jason. And Jason's like, no, I'm here for you. And so I'm not leaving. And Sonny like threatens him that, but I'll tell you after this because Carly sees Sonny at the hotel and he cryptically says that basically he implies that he's going to do something to Jason. And then that's when we see the hitman try to take out Jason. And I don't think it was Sonny that did it. Now, I could be wrong, but Brennan and Valentine said that they wanted to get rid of Jason and frame Sonny for it. So I kind of feel like that he's working for Brennan and Valentine and not Sonny, even though Sonny is off his meds, and there's a good chance that Sonny did do it because he's not in his right mind. But I kind of feel like they're not going to go there because he's being so obvious with Carly. So if something does happen to Jason, Carly, of course, is going to look directly in his direction, which doesn't make any sense. That even, if he's not himself, why would he snitch on himself to Carly, knowing how much he loves Jason? And then we're winding down. I knew it was going to be a long video, but we got Chase and Liz, where despite the facial expression that Liz has on her face, Rebecca Hurst, who looks like, she don't feel like being in that scene, she actually showed a lot of compassion to Chase, the same compassion that she should have showed Finn, but she didn't. But as soon as they start talking about Finn, bam, look at his facial expression. They're talking about Finn because she like she wants to throw up. Like, why are you talking about that man to me? Because Chase was defending his brother and saying you should give him another, forgive him for whatever he said because he did have a drink and our father just passed away and where's the compassion? And she's looking at him like, all right, so who's my next love interest on the show? she's done. Oh, and then we're gonna get into the final stretch, which is Portia and Curtis. They see an article at the beginning of the episode that says that Laura is looking into um, basically freeing Heather, having her case revisited because of the metallosis or whatever poisoning she had, and that instead of leaving her in there for being a serial, what. And so Curtis is like, Laura wouldn't do that. So he decides he's gonna go see Laura himself. Meanwhile, we had this other scene because once again, they remember Jagger was on the show, so he makes like appearance like once a week. And he's trying to send Brennan, back to jail. Like, we know you stabbed yourself. You should be good to go. And this is why I say the writing just makes no sense to me sometimes because Portia just went on a tangent about not releasing Heather because she's such a danger to the community and her family. And then she defends Brennan, saying, they're going to keep him in the hospital. He's not going nowhere, And it's like, even if it was on different episodes, it would make more sense. But for her to go from one scene where she's trying to stop, a killer to another one, trying to make sure that he stays in a hospital where he has more of an opportunity to get free. And if he stabbed himself, he definitely has a plan. And we know him on these episodes, Valentine meets with somebody, and I have a feeling it's Brennan, but we'll see. And then, or it could be the person that tried to take out Sonny. It's one of the other. But we gotta get to Laura. The writing does not make sense. Say more time. The writing does not make sense because Laura, in the very same episode, says, "How could somebody put this in the paper that I'm trying to help Heather get free when that's not what I'm doing?" And so Portia tries to tell her, "Look, isn't what you're doing gonna get Heather free?" And Laura's like, "No." Mm-hmm. It's like she's like, you need to fix this and get ahead of this and basically stop. But of course, Laura's like, well, we're just gonna let the courts decide, which is what she tells um, Curtis, and that is one of the most frustrating conversations I've ever seen on the show because it was like Laura had no idea what she was doing or why she was doing it. So Curtis is like, everything you're doing is going to lead to Heather getting free. And Laura's like, we don't know that. he's like, you're putting my family in danger. If it was your family, would you still be doing the same things? And she's like, "Rrr." So, so it's like, either be about your business and say, look, I want her to free because I think that, medically she wasn't responsible for everything that she did. And between the stuff with Esme that people didn't understand why Laura was helping Esme the way she was doing, especially everything that went down, and now she's helping Heather, and it doesn't make any sense. Fans are like, this is not the Laura we've been watching for like 40 years. Who's this? And it made me wonder, like, I know it's not Faison under a mask, but I'm like, is Laura not acting like Laura because she's not Laura? That's the only thing that makes sense to me. The only thing that would make sense to me is if she pulled off a mask and turned out to be somebody else. That's it. But if this is just Laura for real, then I have no idea who I'm watching. I feel like Jeannie Francis doesn't even understand why she's getting the dialogue she's getting. So, and we have our last scene and our last Scooby Doo moment because Portia saw Molly and said she wanted to talk to her and wants to know what the DA's office is doing about Heather. And Molly's response is, ooh. She's like, but what about Laura? And what you asking me for? I didn't get that script yet. So it was like the stupidest scene because it really did feel like watching, like having that moment from Scooby Doo. So that look on her face is like, "Ooh." So that is it for the commentary for General Hospital. I will see you in the comments and thank you very much for watching.